Right now it's 11 o'clock. What up, everybody? This is YouTube Live, Rama Screen. How's it going? Today's Wednesday, December 22nd. Just a few days left till Christmas. Let me double check real quick here on YouTube whether or not we are live. Now it's 11 o'clock. Okay, we are live. Good. What up, everybody? This is YouTube. Um, Sometimes YouTube is messed up, so I want to make sure that we are live. Okay, so I'm not gonna make this too long because I think I already gave you all my thoughts on the Matrix Resurrections movie in my video review um, yesterday. Um, but right now we're gonna look at the because the movie arrived last night in theaters and on HBO Max. So I want to see some of the reactions from not just fellow critics but also regular viewers. Apparently, if you go to onto Rotten Tomatoes, the movie has received 68% from critics, and there's no audience score. There's nothing here. I don't know why, but we're gonna go to IMDb for that. Let's see some of the things that they said here on critics. Resurrection gets a great deal of mileage from its an hour nostalgic yearning, appreciatively stoked by Reeves and Master Union. Fox 10 Phoenix says a wickedly entertaining, delightfully romantic addition to the Matrix canon. Yeah, agree to disagree. The Matrix Resurrections deconstruct its mythos, even as it celebrates the ideas it has always held nearest to its heart. Fine, whatever. If you say so. Let's go to the rotten responses from the critics. Fan service at least provides a reason for being. Otherwise, the project can feel inexplicable. Kevin Mara from Times UK says, The Curse of the Matrix strikes again. An ingenious, inventive, and era-defining sci-fi movie from 1999 has now, with its latest and long-awaited misfire, produced yet another truly horrible sequel. I could not agree more. Jeffrey Lyle says there's little to suggest it was worth exhuming the decrepit shell of the franchise back for another round. If this is enlightenment, pass me another blue pill. James Vanier, this is made a mess, uninspired, and featuring badly staged fights and chases past the blue pills. Okay, so there seems to be a trend here. Like people who don't like the Matrix Resurrections, they're like, you know what? I'll take the blue pill. Let me just go back to sleep. Let me go back to dreaming again. Um, so 68% from the critics. So that counts as fresh if it's above 50, right? If it's below 50, then it's rotten. But as you could see, there is a disconnect. There is a disconnect between the critics and the fans on this one. These are user reviews from IMDb. Remember, the movie actually already came out internationally last week, way before it came out domestically last night in America. So people around the world have already seen the movie for a week now. And this one gave a 6 out of 10. Ferguson says Neo and Trinity return. Long explanation here. We're not going to get to that. But this one, Sam the Best gave it 5 out of 10. And she said The Matrix Resurrections tries everything to give a new life to the franchise, but lacks the soul, while the body still remains in very much good shape. I'm sorry. So what she's saying is that it's a soulless movie. Um, Prashad Singh says The Matrix should have stayed as a trilogy. I could not agree more. Um, Aside from the action scenes and few throwback moments, this film is a misfire on many levels. It just doesn't feel like a Matrix film at all. Movie Critic Online gave it 1 out of 10. The woke tricks. Remember, the woke agenda is part of my criticism of this movie. It didn't feel and look like The Matrix. The only good and classic Matrix was the first one. The two subsequent sequels were horrible and pretty much ruined the legacy of the original. This latest sequel, Resurrections, put the nail in the coffin. They should have let the original alone. Okay. So not favorable responses from those who had seen the movie since last week and last night. This is December 22nd. Um, the Matrix retreading, laughingly bad, filled with loads of remember this? Flashbacks and obnoxious slow mo and blur, dull and confusing story, dumb dialogue, and crap action sequences you won't remember at all. um, Disappointing, strictly a money grab movie. I've been waiting for this one with anticipation and I was thoroughly disappointed. I spent the first 40 minutes wondering what was going on. It was barely coherent. The rest of the movie got slightly better, but there was no real story. That's what I said. Some parts were enjoyable, some weren't, but at the end I didn't feel like my day has been enriched by watching it and I have no desire to watch it again. Woo! Keiko Yoshikawa gave it 3 out of 10. How to ruin a franchise. This movie did not need to be made, and it doesn't live up to any of the first 3 in the trilogy. It's like everyone phoned in. The actors, the writers, the directors, sad. Some of the main characters from the original got shot, shifted, and that to me was the biggest disappointment and unforgivable. Exactly what I mentioned in my review to you guys. It's just like the movie's explanation for some of the for why the characters are replaced or absent. This is like it doesn't make sense. It doesn't make sense. I read somewhere that Hugo Weaving could not make it because he was busy doing other projects. That's fine, but the other stuff, it's like giving making Yahya Abdul Latif as the new Morpheus, you know, and they have this weird explanation for Jonathan why Jonathan Groff is the agent Smith now. It's like, oh, I can't with this film. I just can't. It's obvious that Alana Wachowski and his and her team of writers were just grasping at straws, trying to come up with the let's give him something. Let's give him something to rationalize, why we are eliminating or why we are replacing these characters, and it just doesn't make sense. And yeah, it's very convoluted, very incoherent. So yeah, it's 68% from from the critics. I think a lot of them that says, "Oh my God, this is like a great Matrix movie," or this is how you resurrect the franchise. A lot of it is. I have to wonder, is that just because they want to be pull quoted by the studio? I was like, I saw the quote on the TV spot and the billboards. Like, okay, are they watching? I mean, did they watch the same movie that I did? I get that movie opinions are subjective, but I mean, it's a little. You can compliment a movie, but there's also kind of like fawning. There's a line between like complimenting and fawning, like trying to get something out of praising the thing that doesn't need that much highly praise. It's like really, really that those are some big words right there. Obviously, you want to get pull quoted, and that's fine if you want to get the cloud or the attention and you get the studios favoring you. Hey, that's the game you play. Have at it. You do you, boo. Um, because as I mentioned many times, when it comes to film journalism or film criticism, oftentimes there are people who are like, I'm gonna give my honest opinion, and there are people who are like, you know what, I want to advance my career, I want to advance my viewership and my name out there, and so it's a game that people play. When it comes to entertainment journalism, that's how you play the game. It's not it's not holding people accountable. It's not about putting powerful people feet into the fire. That's a different journalism. So I guess before I close this video, I just want to also double down on my point in my video review to you guys yesterday. Um, I don't have any problem, okay, with a filmmaker trying to inject their politics or their messaging. But there has to be a balance. There has to be If you want to, if you're making a movie just so just so you can make a statement, at the expense of that movie, that the movie doesn't feel like a movie anymore, that the movie is just like a, the movie feels like more like just a vehicle for your statement. That's what I said in my review, is like, then what's the point? What's the point? Like, okay, I'm gonna resurrect Matrix so that this Matrix can be retrofitted to explain my transitioning. I got no problem. That the Wachowskis now are Lana and Lily Wachowskis. That's fine. You live your truth. It's a free country. What I'm worried about is like, why are you treating your movies, especially the Matrix brand, to retrofit like an agenda, like I said in the review, at the expense of the movie itself. It doesn't feel like a follow-up. It doesn't feel like a sequel. The movie already ended with the trilogy, and then now you're just like, all right, I'm just gonna, I need to say something and I can't say it, so I'm gonna resurrect, pun intended, my franchise to say this thing. And I don't know, I think that I guess some people can find that admirable. But the rest of us are like, is it necessary? Like, you can say it in a million ways, and now you're kind of like just beating this franchise to the ground just to address your thing. It's just like, there has to be a balance. There has to be a balance. I'm not against political movie. I'm not against messaging movie, but it has to feel like a movie. You got to give the audiences a reason why this movie is worth watching. Like, in addition to the themes that you want to convey through the movie, it can't be the only reason why the movie exists. That can't be the only reason why. At least that's my opinion. Now, I got a lot of black backlash tweeting that on Twitter. Oh my goodness! And some of you already saw it. I even had to like turn off my notifications because the notifications were like lighting up every day since I tweeted it last Thursday, I believe. Yeah, when the social reaction lifted, it lit up like every hour, 20 more notifications, 20 more notifications, 20 more quote tweets, 20 more retweets, and they're all negative. They were all trashing me. They were all like calling me transphobic. They're calling me bigots. They're calling me, anti-trans. I'm like, dude, people who know me know that I am the most liberal guy in the neighborhood. Like, you do you, boo. That's my philosophy. You do you, boo. When it comes to social things, I don't care how you live your life. Just live it. Just live it, okay? It's a free country. I get outraged when it comes to economic things. When rich people don't pay their taxes, when corporations beat up when corporations tell their workers to stay in the factory while tornado is coming at them, like the Amazon in Kentucky. So I get outraged when it comes to that. When it comes to social life, dude, I don't care. I don't care. You do you, boo. You live your life when it comes to social life. Economically is what I really, really get really passionate about. Um, when you're crushing the working man by not giving them living wages, those are the kind of stuff that if you notice my Twitter account, those are the stuff that I get passionate about. Bob Pope is here. With the nature of the topics, in my opinion, they shouldn't have made anime. Animatrix was my favorite movie. Animatrix was good. I remember Animatrix. That was really good. Yes, that's the one that's the anime movie that came out also 2003, right? Bob Pope. Yeah, it came out after Revolutions around that same time. So, uh, yeah, yeah, but yeah, the oh my god, the backlash, calling everybody calling me transphobic. They think like they know me, calling me anti-trans, and I'm like, all of a sudden, I was like Dave Chappelle on Twitter, man. The Dave Chappelle of Twitter. It's so insane. Um, Here, let me show you some. It's ridiculous. It's ridiculous. I still kept it up. A lot of people told me to delete my tweet, but I was like, you know what? I want to keep it. I want to keep it because it proves the toxicity of the fandom. Sometimes the fans can be toxic when when they are more outraged about this kind of stuff, about subjective stuff like movies. They're more outraged about this when they're not outraged about the fact that Build Back Better Bill got killed by Joe Manchin, or that they're not outraged by student debt, or they're not outraged by Amazon warehouse workers having to pee in the bottle. It's like this is what they're outraged about, and they haven't seen the movie. I tweeted this last week, but they make assumptions about me because of the what I said, and now that they've seen the movie, I bet you a percentage of them um, will agree with me, but will be too proud to apologize, or too proud to even, you know what, Rama, sorry, you got it right. That was a terrible movie, and that was just a vehicle for Lana stuff. I'm sorry, man. No, no, none of them will say that. Oh, but this is what happened. I tweeted this last week, and it got really a lot of hate on YouTube. I'm sorry, not YouTube, Twitter. Um, and they think that trashing me on Twitter is a win. They think that, oh my God, you got ratioed. Ha! I am so victorious. Rama got ratioed today. I can now, sleep and enjoy my day. I have ratioed Rama. Look at me. Am I not the hero? Am I not the best, guys? There's a lot of shitstorm going on out there in the real world, but I ratioed Rama. I showed him. It's like, what the hell? But yeah, see, wow. I think which one that called me. There's some people that call me transphobic. I think one of the quote tweets. I'm sorry, I said quote tweets, quote tweets. Let's see here. Um, See, they bring out the two trans women. Um, I bet you watched the original Matrix movie and ate that shit up before you realized it was made by true trans women, suggesting that I am against trans when I'm not. And the original Matrix movie was made by the Wachowski brothers before they became true trans women. So I mean that argument itself has hole in it. Um, she's trying to gotcha me, like, ha ha, gotcha. I bet you didn't realize, that the original Matrix movie was made by two trans women. Gotcha. Oh, that contains N word, so we're not gonna go there. um, the Matrix has a woke agenda. It's pretty much the next "What's Up with America" Captain being so anti-Nazi all of a sudden. So another straw manning, another stretch. Like, oh, comparing, as if one apple is similar to the other, which is orange. Um, Woke agenda. Tell me you never understood the Matrix without telling me you never understood the Matrix. So yeah, you can see it here. Oh man! But you know what? I'm gonna keep this up. I'm not gonna delete this tweet. Not keep this up. I'm gonna keep this tweet. I'm sorry. I'm gonna keep this tweet on Twitter. That's what I said. I'm not gonna delete it. I think it just goes to show that fans can be really toxic, and we are fans too, right? You and I are fans, and I get it. We get passionate about something, and then we sometimes get so passionate that we leave ourselves blind to what we need to prioritize. um, and I think that's also the problem on the left. I'm on the left, but I can criticize the left in that we are sometimes get too gung ho about uh, 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 the social stuff, that we lose sight of fighting for the economic stuff. And so um, we find joy and pride in eating each other up, in eating the left, in eating our own. When it comes to punching up or calling out the people who are actually powerful, we don't do that. We're like, you know what? Let's just get the lowest common denominator, and attack that guy, even though he's on the left. So it's so toxic, man. It just speaks volumes about ourselves as a society, and it's sad. It really is sad. Um, but yeah, that I'm gonna let that tweet there on my Twitter feed as an evidence, from now on until forever, of how we, the left, um, lose sight of our priorities sometimes, and we need to get back to what we need to fight for in our lives. Definitely. Like I remember. Okay, this is one last point. And Bob Pope, you can probably attest to this. I went to a gas station the other day, right? I forgot where it was. Well, anyway, it was in Inland Empire. I live in Inland Empire. Um, and sometimes gas stations have a DVD section. DVD sections like old movies, stuff like that, or maybe movies from 10 years ago. Um, and I saw the list. Not all of them are like from the 50s, 60s movies. And some of the DVDs are like Brokeback Mountain, Batman Begins. Christopher Nolan's Batman movie. I forgot the other one. The Prestige. That's another Nolan movie. There's another DVD as well, and they're all like what, $6, $7 at that gas station. They're like, and I remember back in when the movie came out, like Batman Begins and the Prestige and all, and all that movie, all those movies at the gas station. When the movie came out, when those movies when those movies were about to come out, we were hyping them up. We were like, of course, as fans, as bloggers, we're like, oh my god, these movies are gonna be awesome, and then the movie comes out in theaters, and like, oh, box office money, the attention, it's gonna get awards, and guess what? 10 years, 12 years later, they're sitting at the gas station for like half the price of the Blu-ray. I was like, so it just hit me. I was like, oh my god, we're hyping these up, and then in the future they're just, some of them are worth less than nothing. Not all of them have not all of these movies have 25th anniversary Blu-ray, or 30th anniversary Blu-ray. A lot of them end up at the gas station. So you know I hope that kind of goes through your, or I hope that sinks in. I hope that kicks in. I hope that goes through your perspective. And when you want to be passionate about something, there's nothing wrong about being passionate about something, but don't let that turn into something toxic. Because remember, what you're passionate about today can end up at the gas station 12 years later for half the price. Realizing that, wow, this is what I was like yelling from the mountaintop for. So yeah, I'm just saying that make sure you direct your priorities, to something that's really, really that something that really, really is important, that really affects people's lives. This Twitter is not a real world. YouTube is not a real world. The real world's out there, and so and I also engage in Twitter and YouTube. There's nothing wrong with that, but make sure we balance it out. Balance it out. We gotta live a healthy life. So anyway, that's my rant. Long rant on the Matrix Resurrection spoiler talk. Let me know your thoughts about the movie. If you've seen the movie either on HBO Max or on theaters last night or today, let me know your thoughts in the comment section below. Share them, okay? What do you think? Did you like it? Did you not like it? If you liked it, why? If you did not like it, why? In the comment section below. And as always, subscribe, subscribe, subscribe. Let's rock this.